really lucky. When you look at that, I'm really lucky, you know, to know how fortunate I am to still be here. So I have a saying called "Move the Chains."
Explain that.
I do something for somebody, you know, it's like goal to goal. I never hit the goal line. I'm always between the goal lines. So getting first downs, and I can never have enough first downs. I never score, but I just have first downs. So if I get a new member, hey, first down. If I have a great meeting, first down. If anything that I accomplish, I consider that a really good first down. So my 2025 word, knowing all the shit that I've been through, was just, you know, push. You know, it's like I do this every year for our membership. You know, what's your 2025 word of the year? What's your 2026 word of the year? And then I review that with people.
Wow, do most people have a word of the year?
Yeah. What would yours be?
Shit, that's why I'm asking. I'm thinking, I don't have well, and I'm working with Stan, coach. So what would my word be? Well, I'll tell you what. It's 2 words: chosen discomfort. Mm-hmm. He said, "Rob, you want to get better, further in life. Chosen discomfort is how it's going to work." Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that would be my 2 words. Mm-hmm. And so, okay, so you saw me at the networking meeting last night, the networking event. Mm-hmm. How many have they had? How many have they had? What is it? Once a month? The one from last night? Mm-hmm. Or is it once? So they must have had at least close to 50 since the beginning?
Sure.
How many have I made? I'll help you. 0. Mm-hmm. That's not my thing. Mm-hmm. I love NIA, I love our group, but that's my chosen discomfort. I don't like walking in, even though I know just about everybody there, I don't like walking in a networking room, even if I know the people there. Let's say you're there and you're talking with someone, I walk up and kind of interrupt, I don't know what to do. I'm looking for someone who's not talking to someone, so it's very uncomfortable for me to be there. Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I had a great time.
Good. That's it. I mean, it's just like, you know, it's a chosen discomfort.
Yeah.
You know, I almost didn't do networking action because, believe it or not, standing up in front of a group and running a meeting, that terrified me.
Really?
It did.
Okay, wow.
I mean, it terrified me. I've negotiated hundreds and hundreds and millions of dollars in radio contracts, but I was never on air, and I was always in sales and management roles. And the thought of getting up and running a meeting terrified me. And that was kind of like, can I do this? Because they asked me in my previous networking organization, if I wanted to take on an additional leadership role, which have required me, you know, to run a meeting. And I go, no, I'm good. I just want to, you know, have a year off and from leadership. And then Scott called me November 14 and he told me about networking action. So April the 7th of 2015, I made an announcement that I was turning in my badge, and everybody stopped their chatter. Yeah. And I said, what? What's Moose doing? And I said, Wednesdays aren't going to be the same for me. I'm turning in my badge. My business is moving me in a direction that won't allow me to maintain membership, but thanks, it's been a great 6 years. And
wow.
Everybody came up, where are you going? What are you doing? Where are you going? Tell me about it, you know? Yeah. So when I said, when I can, I will. So I'm cruising along in 2022. I finished the 4th of my Networking Action monthly business meetings, my Bel Air group, the second Thursday of the month. And Friday morning I wake up and I have some tightness.
I got to stop right here. 1 minute. All of this time you're living large, meaning you're eating whatever you want, drinking. You no longer smoke. You smoked for years, but you quit that years ago.
20.
Okay. 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
May the 15th, 2006, 10 after 1, Quail Valley Golf Course, number 10 tee box. Slipped my last one, you know, threw it down. I did the patch. But yeah, I was living life. I was living large. I wasn't paying attention to too much. I was just having fun. Yeah. No real diet restrictions or anything like that. I was very heavy for this frame. I woke up Friday morning and I just had an unnatural feeling. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was indigestion. I'd never had a heart attack before. I convinced Lisa to go to her high school reunion because she had never been able to go to one. I convinced her. I said, I'll be fine, just go, not knowing that I was having a heart attack. Scott Talley called about 10:30. Goes, "What's up, dude? You want to go play golf?" And I said, "I don't think I can. I'm not feeling good. I thought I had indigestion, but I think it's way more, and I have this feeling that's moving left in my shoulder." And he goes, "I'll be at your house in 5 minutes." He came and collected me. We went to the ER on South Rice. They put me on lockdown, told me that I had had a heart attack. Scott calls Lisa, who had gotten to Dallas. She turned around on her way back. She called my brother Jim, and he called his cardiologist. Power of networking is unbelievable. So he called Dr. David Yao's office and said, "My brother's just had a heart attack. He's at this emergency center. Can you take him?" They go, "Yeah, done." So later that night, they got me into Methodist up on the 18th floor, and I was taken down to the 10th floor of Methodist, and they just started wiring me up. I went, my body was completely shutting down.
Did you know?
No, I was out.
Did your wife know what was going on at this
Well,
point?
they said to Lisa, my sister, "Y'all need to leave the room." And Dr. Yao was telling what he wanted done, where he wanted me to go. So the next thing I know is that I woke up and I had tubes everywhere, and I had my kidneys started shutting down, so they were thinking that they might have had to do temporary dialysis. I had about 13% usage. And anyway, it was 12 days at Methodist. 8 of those were in the cardiovascular ICU, and 4 of those I was intubated. I was tubed up. I didn't know anything. So finally, I'm starting to get better. Me and my personality, all these nurses would come in, and I'm like, once I had all this off, I'm like, "Well, how long have you worked at Methodist?" I'm trying to do combos with them, and
Are you looking to join a networking group?
yeah, you want to join a networking group? I got a bunch of them.
Right.
They're all good too. They brought me back into the room, and Lisa saw me, tubed up. I know it just completely flipped her out. As my brother, was there every day. Both my sisters came down from Fort Worth. Scott Talley, as busy as that guy is, he came up every afternoon to spell Lisa for about 4 hours so she could, do some things that she really needed to do. And for that, we got to watch the Astros sweep the Yankees.
Which
in the
it's
emergency.
a bad part of the story, by the way.
Yeah, we got to watch the Astros sweep the Yankees in the bed, and I'm like, I got the heart monitor, blowing up, and so anyway, they kept coming in the room. My dad would have said I had doctors bumping into each other coming in and out of my room. It was totally unreal, but there's nothing like, if you're going to be sick, there's no place like Methodist. So I got out 12 days later. I lost about 20 pounds coming out, and I knew how lucky I was. So I get home, I kiss the cement in front of our door, and I called my mom and I said, "Mimi, I'm home." And much to her delight, I said, "I'm looking at birds on the back porch patio and on the fence, and it just feels great to be home." I started doing cardio rehab in December, 3 times a week. I just had to block it out, 10 to 12 noon, 3 times a week. I blocked it out. And I did cardio rehab, and they put these little heart monitors on, and so it showed these little things called PVCs, or premature ventricular contractions, okay, is what they're called.
Okay.
My heart was out of rhythm, okay? So they kept reporting that to the cardiologist, and I'm like, what is that? What is that? Is it serious? Anyway, I had, in 2023, November 21st, I had a PET scan, and they immediately wanted me to go down to right down the hall and get what's known as a Holter, which is a heart monitor.
Okay.
I wore it for 72 hours. I didn't hear anything for into my 3rd week, and I'm thinking, well, it's probably not a big deal. I get a call from the cardiologist, and they go, "Dr. Yao wants you to go see an electrophysiologist." So I go in, and Dr. Thomas Hong, he's amazing, said that my heart wasn't as strong as it was 6 months prior, that the PVCs were doing damage. And he said, "We want to do what's known as an ablation procedure." They go in and they zap the PVCs. And I said, okay, when do you want to do that? And he goes, Tuesday.
Wait, Moose, that doesn't scare you? The doctor says it's kind of, I'm sure he explained it that way. He was basically going to that. That didn't scare the hell out of you?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
So I go in, and I went into ventricular tachycardia, which means that my heart just like blowing up. And they had to hit me with the paddles to bring me back. I think I coded, I'm told. They brought the paddles.
How long is this after the first incident?
So I mean, this happened on November the 21st. So I get up. I mean, I make it. They brought me back, and I make it, and then I'm waiting to get discharged, and I was going to have a cardio defibrillator implant, pacemaker implant the following week. But when I was waiting to get discharged, a chaplain shows up into my room, and I look at him and I said, "I'm sorry, do you know something I don't?"
Right. Is he there for the last rites or whatever?
You here to read me my last rites? I said, I need to get some family around if that's the deal. Anyway, I made it, had the defibrillator implant November 28th. I did get Thanksgiving with my mom and my brother Jim and Lisa and myself, and so that was great. And then the defibrillator went great. I'm wearing it right now. It lasts 10 years, and I've got about 7 years left on this battery. My goal is to outlive my pacemaker.
Oh yeah. Right.
You know, and more. That's a first immediate goal. But I'll tell you, I had to make some lifestyle changes, you know. So Lisa and I joined Orange Theory Fitness, and we go to the Voss location.
Yeah.
They're great there. And I'm 150 something classes. Lisa's close to 300. And
What do you mean class? What does that mean?
You go to a class.
Oh, okay.
You just can't show up and work out. They have classes. So I do the treadmill,
Okay.
and then the floor. And at 73, I'm not doing everything that the 50-year-olds are doing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing what Moose Rosenfeld can do.
Excellent.
And
That's
they
all right.
don't bug me about it. You know, I see a lot of people and I go, I wish I could do that, but I'm just not going to.
Yeah.
I'm there to get a good workout, but not kill myself.
Yeah.
So I know that lifestyle changes, diet, you know, can't eat burgers all the time. And I'm trying to stay away from sweets, which is really hard because I do have a sweet tooth, and that's difficult. But at the end of the day, I want to live.
Yep.
I have too much to live for. My mom celebrates her 98th birthday this month and this weekend. I'm super excited. She just got her driver's license renewed, believe it or not.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I mean, totally unreal. I have so many people that I'm grateful for. And every day I know that I can make a difference in somebody's life. And that's my passion. That's my why. Every time I do a networking action meeting, I go, you know what, y'all, my why.
Yeah.
You're totally my why. Why I love what I do is to help people, because I have enough people that are helping me literally every day, all day. I've got a great medical team. I've got great friends. And I just know how lucky I am.
Yeah. You had this happen to you, even being brought back, flatlined, right? First of all, when you're doing something, anything, especially you're watching a game and you get excited, in the back of your mind, you worried, is this too much excitement for my heart? I mean, I know nothing about what you're going through. Okay, so why not? Because I would be a nervous wreck. And I'm glad you're not, and this is what I'm going to learn from.
We all have an end date.
Yeah.
Nobody knows when it is. Nobody. So I'm going to live life. I'm going to try to live it really good, but I still want to have fun. And I can tell, look, it's so hot right now. I'd be out on the golf course, but it's my age right now. I know my hip is bugging me. I'm not going to do that. But for the first time, I'm like going, I don't think it's really good for my heart to be out on a golf course with 110 degree heat.
Okay.
Last year I'd have done it. I wouldn't have thought twice about it. And I go, Lisa, you know my number. If I'm in trouble, I'll call, or I'll get off the golf course. This year it hasn't intrigued me. So maybe that's a sign of growing up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to crap out on the golf course. My dad had 2 heart attacks on the golf course.
Wow.
Before,
really?
yeah, 2 prior to 50 years old, both were on the golf course. So if I want to live life,
Yes.
I want to try to be somewhat responsible, with whatever time I have remaining.
Right.
I would say that I'm not on I'm on the back nine. I just don't know how many holes are in the back nine, you know?
So you have a great attitude about it. That's
I mean,
the good.
look, I'm so fortunate to be here. I know, I look at that picture and I go, it's a super reminder. You know, I could bury that picture or, you know, delete it, and I go, no, I want to know, I want people to know, or me especially, to know how far I've come. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, I have a word of the year, okay? Mine was push. I just want to keep pushing, keep learning, keep pushing. Every day, I want to push. I want to accomplish something, no matter how little it might be or how big it might be. And then I live life between the goal lines.
Yeah.
Okay, I call it moving the chains. So, you know, it can be third and long, and I get a, you know, long pass and I get a first down. Well, everything that I think about in life revolves around getting first downs.
It's a great way of looking at it.
You know, so if I get a great, like I've got a PET scan coming up August the 4th, if I get a good result, you know, and the guy goes, hey man, you're doing great, first down,
Yes.
you know, and if I do something and I get a new member, first down. Well, no matter what it is, I'm trying to look life as positive as I possibly can, and have that attitude instead of I'm sorry I can't I can't do this. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to, and I won't live life that way. So I know how lucky I am. I mean, I've skated death a few times so far, and you know, when they came in and told Lisa that it didn't look good, that if they were not certain that they were going to be able to save me.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I was totally out. But I think that God was about ready for me. He said, hey, partner, keep making money for Texas Children's Hospital. Hey, partner, keep doing all the good things that you're doing.
That's right.
You know? So
I don't want to talk about Texas Children's, but I got it. You just mentioned Lisa.
Yeah.
So, Moose, what did Lisa go through? Because
that was really, really hard for her. And I mean, every day she had to put her business kind of on the side, to focus on me. And I know how difficult it was. And so I think it was harder on her than it was on me, because I'm over it. I'm going back to living.
Yeah.
And I think that if I left the house, she would be worried, is he going to make it home?
Right.
You know, he went to do this, is he going to make it home? What would a life look like if I would have passed away? And I talk about this like a lot. Is it harder to lose someone instantly through a heart attack?
That's a great question.
Or is it harder watching someone suffer and go through 3 years of, you know, whatever disease and whatever.
It's a great question.
And I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I've lost friends immediately. I've lost 3, you know, lifelong friends, you know, and it's I don't know the answer to that.
Does Lisa ever talk to you and say, you know, Moose, I had to contemplate, because she had to look at life and say, he may not come back from the hospital.
Yeah, it was really hard.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been quite a journey for the last for the last 3 years, and it's hard to believe October the 14th will be 4 years, and I'm like, you know what? Let's really make it another 4, another 8. I have no idea how long.
Yeah.
How long I'm going to be about.
12, 15, you have no idea, 20? Sorry, so what is your biggest difference the way you see life now? Do you see opportunities different? Do you see good things in life different? Like you mentioned, birds in the backyard.
Yeah.
Do you look at life differently now that you went through that?
I think it's thinking about more other people than me.
What do you mean?
I'm me, right? But if I think about all the people that have impacted my life and I focus on them instead of me, I'm going to be fine.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to be fine. If I know that I like to play what's known as phone Rolodex. Everybody laughs at me. You know what phone Rolodex is?
You told me because you told me.
Yeah. So I just go to contacts and I flip up and there's 14 names that show up and go, who haven't I talked to lately? And I hit them up and just say, hey man, I was thinking about you. Tell me what's going on in your life. You know, you never know that one phone call, what somebody is going through. That I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to do anything, but just play catch up. Tell me what's going on. If I can ever help you, let me know. And you never know what difference that might make. And I try to do that a couple of times a day.
That's great.
You know, so
that is awesome. And I love your I'm going to call it your viewpoint of first down, because you're not saying touchdown.
No.
I'm going to just kind of tie that into my coach Stan. He said, Rob, people ask him, what was his goals in life? He's an older man now. I think he's 88. And he said, I never really lived by goals. I lived by a day. He goes, my goal is have a good day. Mm-hmm. You have a string of good days. That's a great life.
It is.
So you just go by one thing at a time. So that's good. I like
My
that.
goal in 2025 was not to see the inside of Methodist.
There you go.
That's a great goal.
That is a great goal.
Now, I did. I went in for one test, but it was 3 hours and I was out, so it wasn't an overnight. This is amazing. When you're nice to people, people remember. It had been 2+ years that I had to go to Methodist where I did my rehab, and I had to go up for a test, and I pull up into the valet, and the guy goes, "Hey, I haven't seen you in a couple of years. How are you doing?"
Wow.
Of all the people that he parks
right.
cars for every day, and he remembered me because I tipped him very well, and he always parked my car right. He didn't have to go far for it. He goes, "How long are you going to be?" And I go, "Hour." He goes, "I have it right here." And I'd park and I'd give him a nice tip and say, "Man, thank you, buddy. I really do appreciate you taking good care of me."
Wow, see that?
And you just never know. That guy remembered me. And I told my mom that, and she goes, "That's because you're you,
Yeah.
It's because you're you."
That's a great story. So, obviously you love your wife, but what's like one of the best things that you love about your wife, about Lisa?
Well, there's many.
Right?
We met on a blind date Thursday, October the 12th of 1996 at a restaurant, Trulux.
Yeah.
And she walked in, and I'm watching all these people walk in. And
No, wait. Did you guys see each other? Did you know what each other looked like?
No.
Oh, wow.
Only by phone.
That's old school.
She goes, "How will I know you?" I'll have a sweater on with a big M for Moose. Goofy. Anyway, so this lady walked in, and I said, "That is one really nice looking gal." So anyway, I was very good friends with Mike Armstrong, who was at the time the managing general partner at Trulux. And he and Lisa greeted each other, and Mike goes, "Oh my God, Lisa, Southwest Texas State University," they knew each other from Southwest.
Wow.
And she goes, Mike goes, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "I'm meeting a guy named Moose." He goes, "I know Moose." So he walked over and introduced us. And we have been together ever since. I proposed to her February 27th of we got married February 27th of 99. I proposed to her in 98 in front of 80 of my clients at 610 Sports Radio in Los Cabos, Mexico.
Holy
and
cow.
Fortunately, she said yes,
Right.
because that would have been awkward if she would have said no way. Anyway, we just celebrated 27 years. What I love about her, she's calm. She's very detail oriented. She's a nurturer in the blueprint.
Yeah.
She reads detail. I'm not a detail guy. If anything's detail, I say, "Hey, look at that," But if it's anything else, then I'm really good at it. But we've had a great life together, and I just can't even imagine life without her.
Yeah.
So life is good.
And what about, you've got to look back on this. Scott, he's such a modest guy, he'll never admit this. Mm-hmm. But really, it was him coming over and pushing you that, Moose, that could have very well saved your life.
He did.
Right?
He did, without a doubt.
Yeah.
He did. He could have blown me off, but he didn't. As busy as he was, he stayed the whole day. And he came to my room at Methodist every afternoon for like 4 hours, and he'd spell Lisa, give her a break, for her to go do, whatever she needed to do to keep her life going.
Yeah. So someone who's going through a challenge right now, after what you've been through, I mean, what advice would you give them? They're getting past the challenge. How should they look at life?
I would say that's really very interesting and what I would consider to be a pretty deep question.
Yeah.
Don't hide it. Look, everybody's going through something. You're not alone in your journey, whatever you're going through.
Good point.
Don't hide it. I don't mind going to the doctor. I have friends that never go. My buddy Rich, he'd never go to a doctor, if the life, he just wouldn't go to a doctor.
Yeah.
And it ended up hurting him because he says, I'll be fine. Well, he really wasn't. So don't hide. Don't not, think that there are people out there that want to help, and have a voice. If I can have a voice for somebody, that's really awesome. Okay. I'm very blessed to have so many good people around me including Lisa for 27 years. My mom at 98 this weekend. I've got a great brother. I love my brother Jim, my two sisters Margaret and Kathy and their families. We're really lucky as a family that we all get along as well as we do. And I just don't know if it could be any better. And thankfully, you know, the Lord wasn't ready for me. Finish with this. I'm a co-founder of a golf tournament called the Bad Pants Open, and we've raised money for NICU families for this will be our 28th Bad Pants Open. And it's a crazy idea I had back in my 610 sports radio days. And I shared it with Mike Armstrong from Trulux and Michael Wiesenthal, whose family had Harold's in the Heights. They were a men's clothing store. Yeah. We were in Cabo at our client trip, and I said, hey, why not think about a golf tournament called Bad Pants Open? They go, I'm in. So we met with Texas Children's Hospital, and we said we're looking for somebody that will be very involved, 28 years, you know, that would promote it. They've done that, amazing. We have our own dedicated Bad Pants Open, you know, committee. We have our from the hospital. Michelle Frankfurt and her team have been just absolutely unreal, and I'm really proud to say that we this year will surpass $9.5 million.
Wow!
That we have raised for families that have early births, and the average NICU stay is about 4.5 weeks, and some are there for a year. And we carve out of what we raise on an annual basis through our tournament. We carve out over $100,000 for parking for families. That's the last thing that they need to be concerned with. Yeah. They have 186 beds, 184 beds at the West Campus or the main campus. At the main campus, they have 184 beds. They had 172 babies in there right now that they're treating and caring for. Wow. We raised $1 million to open the Woodlands 14-bed NICU back in when they weren't going to have a NICU. And we said, what do y'all need? And they go, at least $1 million. And we looked at the committee and go, $200,000 a year, 5 years. And I go, that'll be great. So every year the hospital meets with us, our committee. Wow. And they go, these are the programs, these are the initiatives that we'd like to, you know, to fund. And we go, okay, great, you know. So I'm very blessed to be around a very powerful group of people, you know, with the Bad Pants as well. Yeah. Just great people. And I just tell you this, there's two words, be nice. You know, if you be nice, it's not that hard. Right. It's not that hard. Just be nice, because you never know how it's going to come back to you. You know, my dad always said, look, partner, you only get one shot at this thing called life. You better have fun. Mostly, you ought to enjoy what you're doing and have a great time, because you don't know when it's going to end. Yeah. And every day I wake up and I go, oh, it's all working. Okay, let's go have some fun. And I don't consider what I do work at all. I'm having fun. It's not heavy lifting. I see construction people, and I see people that really have what I would consider to be a hard job, especially out in this heat. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just helping people, and I can never get tired of that. Yeah. And I know I won't. So, excellent. Thank you, Rob. This has been fun.
Thank you very much. This was good. Very good.